And it does have several different characters from different Capcom franchises, but it was very cheaply made, very quickly made, and it did not sell very well.
Hi, this is Zap, and welcome to the Reset and Zap podcast. Welcome to the Reset and Zap podcast. I am your host, Zap, and with me is my co host.
Hey, everybody, what's up? It's your boy TeeJay.
Are you ready for today?
Yes, I am.
It's going to be fun.
Word?
Yeah, it's going to be
Promise?
fun, and I need you to be in the right mindset
Okay.
for a brand new week. In other words, I need you to reset.
Okay, I'm ready.
So today's discussion is a forum that I hosted on good old Twitter, now formerly known as X, And I invited the entire community to participate, and this is the following question.
Okay.
If you can create a crossover between two games, which one would it be and why? But that's not the only thing.
Okay.
As you think about it, I also want you to think what would be the technical challenges or genre challenges in order to even make this work.
Okay.
You want me to start?
If you want to. I already got mines.
Oh, well, then go ahead. What would be?
Mines would be a crossover between Final Fantasy
Okay.
and Zelda.
All right, you're gonna have to expand on that because I'm not too familiar with Final Fantasy, so I don't know how you would make
Basically,
this work.
I want to turn Zelda into a turn-based RPG. I would love to have an actual classic Zelda RPG. And Final Fantasy is the franchise that has that particular style. If I had to pick a particular one, I would go with Final Fantasy X, which is the one you played a little bit of.
Yeah.
I would love to see a Zelda game in that style. So it was less of a crossover and more of a style merger. Like, I would love to see the Final Fantasy gameplay merge with the Legend of Zelda aesthetics. So I want it to look like the Legend of Zelda, but I want it to play like Final Fantasy. And I think that would be dope to get a turn-based RPG in the Zelda universe. I think would be fire, because then you can have Zelda as a character, Link, you can have the champions, you can have, all the different Zelda characters be like your party. And I think it would be super dope. I would love for Square Enix to, basically I want Square Enix to make a Zelda RPG, basically is what I want.
Okay. Well, this one I had put a little bit of thought into it, and there's two games that if I were to merge them together, I think it would be pretty dope.
Okay.
You actually had seen me play this not too long ago, but for those that don't know, the game is called Grim Fandango.
Oh yeah, Grim Fandango. Yeah.
Yeah, and it is the version I played was a remastered version from a way back. It was like a
PC game, I
a
believe.
PC game back in the 90s. This is developed by Lucasfilms. So they were the developers. I don't remember who published them. I'm actually looking information for it. But basically it was a PC game that they remastered, and it is a point and click game. And I love me a good point and click game. And the cool part about this game is that the story is really, really good.
It is really good.
But the cons for this game was the puzzles. Like, I would prefer that they would have done a better job with the mechanics and puzzle solving. But, once again, it was a 90s game.
I think I know where you're going with this.
I would merge this with a Life is Strange.
Oh, no, that's not where I thought you were going.
Yeah, because I was thinking about it. I was like, there's so many possibilities that I can merge this with some other gameplay style. But the more I think about it, I think Life is Strange merged with the current game would work. And here's my thoughts on it.
Okay.
You know how Life is Strange lets you like explore your environment, just kind of like your point and click games. But the difference here is that there's multiple ways in solving something. There's like more freedom, but you also got to be careful at the same time, because the conversations you have with people, depending on the decisions you make, is how it's going to unravel, long story short. So it's very decision making. So I would love that, for Grim Fandango, or Fandango, how do you say it?
I think it's Fandango.
Fandango. You can still do the point and click, but have a little bit of more creativity, a little bit more freedom.
A little more emergent gameplay.
Yeah. And then make it more, make it feel like the decisions you make carry more weight, because you can talk to those people, since you're death itself, and figure out if you even want to help them. Like, for example, if you even want to help them, guide them to the afterlife, or if you just want to let them figure it out by themselves. Stuff like that. I just think that would be pretty cool.
You know what I thought you were going to say, actually? I thought you were going to say Professor Layton.
Oh, that would have been good, too.
Because you were talking about, puzzles and stuff like that. So I thought...
That would be too hard, though.
Yeah, but it's still fun. Professor Layton games are hard, but they are fun.
What about, mixed with Ace Attorney?
That'd be dope.
Where you would have to take, the victims...
Yeah.
And have to defend them from death itself.
That'd be dope.
Okay, now we're getting carried away.
That'd be dope.
That would be, but
if I had to choose because mine was kind of a cheat, but if I wanted a traditional crossover like you were talking about, it would actually be The Legend of Zelda and Xenoblade Chronicles. I think would be dope, because they both have a male lead character that uses a big sword, and I would love to see them fight each other. Master Sword versus the Monado would be pretty fire.
And that's what we're going to be discussing today, guys. I'm going to be reading some of y'all's responses, and we're going to react to it and see what are our thoughts with the crossover selections that you guys have created. But here at the Reset and Zap podcast, it's all about resetting and being in the right mindset for a brand new week.
Yeah.
As you tune in to listen to me and to TeeJay,
And to me.
we chatted out while covering all sorts of stuff.
Like what?
Such as life, gaming,
Yeah.
work,
Sounds right.
parenthood,
Sometimes.
and, sometimes a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if you are ready, but I'm ready
Pew.
to. Yeah. You beat me to it.
Yeah.
Hit him with the
me first.
Pume record.
Pew.
Pume. Alrighty. Let's press record.
I don't have a button. There you go.
There we go.
There it is.
That's my sound effect for record.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to tell the prop department I need a record button on the
That would be
table.
cool. We need, yeah.
You need to let the prop department know.
Yeah.
All right. AKA you.
Anyhow, let's start reacting to some of the audience, the community selection
Okay. Let's see what they
for
got.
these crossover games. So we got Raya in the building. Shout out to Raya.
What up?
And she brought up a really interesting merge.
Okay.
And that is the following. She said, I would love to see a proper Pokemon Farm Sims game with a story of seasons style. She said, I'm not familiar with the existing relationship between Game Freak and Marvelous, but they're both great developers with IPs that totally complement each other.
A Pokemon farming sim,
With a story of season style.
which is basically a Neighborvania. Mm-hmm. That's basically what she's referring to.
What do you think? I'm not too familiar with Pokemon, but that kind of reminds me, low-key, of Moonstone Island.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like that's kind of what Moonstone is doing, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like they have the monster capturing, the battling, and then you have your farming sim and your Neighborvania stuff, and so I'm like, Rhea, you should try Moonstone Island.
That's what I was about to say.
You should try Moonstone Island, because that's pretty much what you're talking about.
What she's describing right now.
But it would be dope to see like an actual Pokemon game done that way with the actual Pokemon characters. That would be pretty fly. But to scratch that itch, I would suggest you take a look at Moonstone
Yeah,
Island
Moonstone Island is available on PC, but if you don't play PC, it just came out
on Switch.
on Switch, so you can play it on Switch, and it's basically like a monster collecting farming sims game, but then it also has your what's the proper term for a card game?
Card game.
Just a card game, right?
So the battle system is basically a turn-based card battle system, is what you would call it. Like you
Gotcha.
use cards to battle using your monster. So it's pretty much still a turn-based RPG.
Yeah. So if you're looking for a game that kind of falls in line with what you're describing, Moonstone Island,
Yeah,
you should definitely give it a
as soon
shot.
as she said that, that's what I was like. I was like, that's Moonstone.
But it would be like, I can totally see myself playing a game like that.
Yeah, like in the Animal Crossing art style, but then just like using Pokemon characters, like, be fly.
Yeah, that would
Be pretty dope.
You know what's another game that it reminds me of that's kind of already been done? Ooblets.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
see you play a little bit of that. That's kind of the same thing.
Yeah. But anyhow, moving on. L Blurredmatic in the building said this unique idea is a nice crossover games. And he actually stated a couple of games. So I'm just going to kind of go fast.
Okay.
Tekken versus Dead or Alive.
Tekken versus Dead or Alive. That would be interesting. That would be very interesting. Those two universes actually match up quite perfectly.
Yeah, I'm
So-
assuming he did it based on, like, it's the same genre, but
Yeah,
just...
they're both fighting games, but just like the character designs and the way the games play are very similar. Like a lot of people like would say that Dead or Alive kind of copy Tekken a little bit, but
Really? I've seen Dead or Alive, but I can't really take that stance, obviously.
yeah, I can't really say that because their fighting systems are completely different in my opinion. But I can see if you put Tekken and Dead or Alive's like similar versions next to each other, they do look similar.
Okay. The next one he said is Marvel versus DC video game.
Of course, that's the one everybody wants. Everybody ever since the Marvel versus Capcom series back in the day, and then the Mortal Kombat versus DC that came out. So like a Marvel versus D. Matter of fact, that's actually who I think will make. If that game ever was to happen, it would be NetherRealm Studios, the guys behind Mortal Kombat and Injustice.
Gotcha.
Because if they did a Marvel versus DC in the Injustice battle style, I think that would be fire. I think they could do it because I mean they've already done the DC stuff.
Yeah.
They got Superman, Batman. So all they got to do is throw in the Marvel heroes into Injustice. That's your Marvel versus DC. I think they're the best ones. They've made the best superhero fighting games. I think
agree.
I've seen like as far as superhero based fighting games, I think that Injustice is at the top.
Okay. So the other one he said was Sonic and Crash Bandicoot game.
Interesting.
Never would have thought a combination like that.
I don't know how it would work, but it would be very interesting just to see those two interacting with each other.
Because they're kind of fast.
Yeah.
In a way.
Sonic's way faster.
Yeah.
But just their personalities, it would be interesting to see them two interact with each other. Like how would they?
I can't even
Sonic's
think-
very impatient and fast, and then Crash Bandicoot's a little slow and dumb. So
He's
it's
sloppy.
Like, yeah. So it's like I wonder how those two would like work together. Like that would be interesting to see.
Now this one is a little obvious, but I have to put it out there. He said Pokemon / Pal World game.
Of course. I think I've said this a million times at this point. It would be so dope if they did a game of that Pal World style using the actual Pokemon license. And you could call it Pokemon World. It would be fantastic.
And obviously he said it probably costs to make, but also the budget to produce the game.
Oh, yeah. I mean, anytime you're crossing over one franchise with another, it's going to be a good $1 billion.
So I guess that's his con, it would be costly.
There's a reason why some of this stuff is not going to happen. Like for mine's, it's like very rarely does Nintendo ever license out their franchises. So it's very like, I think the only time they've ever done it is Hyrule Warriors and then the Mario and Rabbids games.
Yeah, well, they delegated, so I guess it falls under the same route because I don't know if they
they licensed
they provided
the
the
IP.
funds.
Yeah, they licensed the Mario's use in that game, and then I'm pretty sure they get like a cut of the profit or something like that.
Gotcha.
Same thing with the Hyrule Warriors games. They license out Zelda to be done by Omega Force, and the same guys that do the Dynasty Warriors games, and they just
But they
work
get the
together.
profit for
Yeah.
licensing. Okay, gotcha. Lord Shabalba which is one that hangs out a lot with us when we're live streaming. So
Okay.
shout out to the Zap Squad. He said, I like to create a crossover game using the Final Fantasy Tactics world, an art style mixed with the mechanics of Kingdom Under Fire, which is a real-time strategy / Dynasty Warriors. The setting would take place during the 50 years, and you can play as some of the characters who became legends during that period.
That'd be fire. That would be fire, actually. I like that idea.
He went in it.
Yeah, he went deep. And he said my favorite word, Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah.
I love that game. So he's referring to those, because a lot of the Dynasty Warriors games are actually based on actual history.
Okay.
So like some of those characters that are in that game are people who actually existed. So
Like real people?
yeah, like real people. They're based on real people.
Oh.
So like it's based on what is called the Three Kingdoms period, where the land was basically divided into three different kingdoms, and each of these rulers were trying to take over and unify everything. And there's actual historical accounts of who did these battles and who fought who, and they actually use that and incorporate those characters into the game. So a lot of those characters from Dynasty Warriors are based on real people.
So it would take place on like real events.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure they kind of
Or inspired.
yeah, I would say inspired by, because I don't
Inspired.
think it's 100% accurate.
Yeah.
One dude didn't walk in and destroy an entire army by himself.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like that didn't happen, but it's loosely based on that history, basically.
Okay. He said that another one he would like to see is Phantom Dust crossed over with Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi 3.
I'm not familiar with the first title. you
Which
said.
I imagine the game being an arena fighter where you can put together a deck of moves / techniques you can use in the arena to fight the other
Oh,
opponents.
so make it like a card game. Is that what he's saying? Oh, that would be
Like a deck building.
They actually did something like that already. It's
Really?
I can't remember the name of it, but it's a
You're talking about a Dragon Ball Z?
yeah, it's a Dragon Ball
Card
Z
game?
card fighting game.
I
And
think I had mentioned it
It was
once.
on the handheld. It was on a handheld console. I want to say it
Let
was.
me look it up.
It was either the GBA or the DS. But there was a card game, a Dragon Ball Z card fighting game. Because you would have to pick your card, and then your character would do their move from that card or whatever, and based on what cards you played would determine how the battle would go.
Interesting.
Can't remember for the life of me. I'm gonna have to look it up. I'm gonna have to look it up and tell y'all guys what
Well,
it is.
there is a Dragon Ball Z CCG for Game Boy Advance.
That might be it.
It says collectible card game.
That might be it. That might be the one I'm talking about.
And it was for the Game Boy Advance.
That's what I thought. I knew it was a Game Boy. I just couldn't remember which one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the one.
Interesting.
Does it have any screenshots?
I'm looking at it right now. I could see the box art, but I don't know.
See the game screenshot. Okay. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that's the one I'm talking about though, because I've seen that before.
Trying to see if I could see in game.
I don't
yeah,
think it did very well, but
I mean, I see some screenshots, and clearly you can see cards.
let me see.
So
I just want to see if it's the one I remember seeing in my head.
it's this one right here.
Oh yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
So it says Game Boy Advance.
That's what I
so
thought.
Technically, it's been
But
well.
it's not
he's-
exactly what he's talking
It's
about.
not exactly because he
But-
said an arena fighter.
Yeah, but it's a similar idea.
Interesting. So basically, an arena fighter, but using
Cards.
cards.
That'd be pretty fire.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty high.
That'd be pretty cool. Alrighty, moving on. Thousand Star said, I would love to have all Capcom Fighter series into one versus game. And he said the following for the versus: Power Stone, Project Justice, Street Fighter, and more.
Yeah, that'd be dope. A lot of people have said that before about wanting a Capcom versus game, where it's just Capcom versus other Capcom characters. So like basically putting all their franchises into one game, and technically they did that. Didn't do very well, but they did do it.
Yeah.
Capcom Fighting Jam, which is actually part of the new collection that they do. The Fighting Game Collection 2. They actually put Capcom Fighting Jam on that collection. And it does have several different characters from different Capcom franchises, but it was very cheaply made, very quickly made, and it did not sell very well.
Basically, one of those games for they try to make for a quick buck.
Yeah, they were like, "Hey, just here's the game, just the idea, just make it and just hurry up and be cheap."
So Thousand Star also followed up with the following. He said, "I would love a fusion for Virtual Quest and custom Robo game."
That would make sense. Those two franchises are pretty much the same exact thing.
So in that case, it's like the same world.
It's like a robot fighting kind of thing. It's kind of like Pokemon, but with robots.
I mean, I've played Robo, so I know, but I have no idea about the other one.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing.
Interesting.
Pretty much the same thing. So it would merge together quite seamlessly. That's pretty.
I guess we'll go back to us real quick because I pretty much read some of the community, but I'm interested in knowing, is there any other possibility of another crossover?
I actually had an idea, and I think it would be dope, even though it would never happen. But I think the idea of it would be super fire.
Okay. I'm actually looking at the game Virtual Quest, by the way, while you're talking.
Resident Evil, Alan Wake. A team up between Alan Wake and like Chris Redfield or something like that.
So it would be psychological and real stuff happening at the same time.
It'd be like a new variant of the T virus that actually like affects you and messes with your mind too. So
but
they're
then
physically
also the real.
Yeah, this real, but it also affects your mind. So you're seeing things that are real and are not real at the same time, and you have to determine which things are real. And and Alan Wake teams up with Chris.
You know what that kind of reminds me of what you just brought up?
What?
It's not exactly the same thing, but it had like a little hint of it. It's the game you just played, the Resident Evil Raccoon City.
Oh yeah, Operation Raccoon City.
You know, when they get infected, you can see that they're hallucinating and they can't really tell. Like that's what it reminded me of.
Imagine that, Alan Wake and Chris Redfield side by side, working on it. Fire.
That would be
Fire.
And when it's done right, it's a true masterpiece. Because one perfect example of a game that I'm recently playing that you wouldn't think it would work, but it works, is Professor Layton versus Ace Attorney.
Yeah, and that game is fire.
Like I just started playing it and I'm like, wow, this is like two completely different universes. Like you don't even know like how would they even make this happen, but somehow they did, and
It's dope.
it works.
It can be done, man. It can be done. I would love to see like a bunch of horror franchises come together. Like imagine like Resident Evil, Alan Wake, and like Silent Hill.
That would be one hell of a mess.
Evil Within. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
like,
my God.
Oh my God. Resident Evil Within.
That
Resident Evil Within.
Ooh, that's a title right there.
Ooh, the Resident Evil Within. That would be a game. I would buy that game day one.
Wow.
That'll be a day one physical cop right there.
Well, TJ, a little birdie told me that you got something planned for me today.
Oh yeah. So you wanna go to that? You wanna go over there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know where we're going, but okay. I guess I'll say Pume.
Yeah. Pew.
Pume.
Pew pew.
All right, it's all up to you.
What we doing?
I don't know. You got a game you want to play with me? Are we doing this content creator chronicles?
Yeah, you're supposed to say it's time to hit play.
Oh, sorry.
That's what I was waiting
guess,
for.
All right, well, I guess.
All right, so I'll just put the sound effect right here.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah, we're going to play a game today. And it's the return of Content Creator Chronicles.
Content Creator Chronicles.
So as you remember from last time, there were 6 questions. You answered 3. So those 3 questions got thrown out, and we threw in 3 new questions. So now we got 6 questions that you don't have no idea what they are.
Yeah, I have no idea whichever I skipped, plus the new ones.
Exactly.
And I got to choose.
Yep, there's 6 questions, 1 through 6. You're going to pick 3, and then we're both going to discuss those questions.
Alrighty. In
So,
the form of a story.
In the form of a story. You know how the game goes.
Alrighty.
So choose your question.
Number 5.
Number 5. Oh, okay, interesting. How do you measure the success of your content?
So in the past, I used to measure my success based on vanity numbers. I was one of those. I was completely glued to analytics, trying to understand every single nook and cranny when it came to analytics.
Yeah.
And play the game by the numbers, basically. And while that's good and all, I felt a little burned out. I felt a little burned out because having to constantly look at your numbers on a 24-hour basis can stress you out immensely, especially when those numbers fluctuate and go up and down constantly.
I can see that.
So if you're doing it for numbers, yeah, good luck, because that is a major stress factor for any content creator. But now I just based it off on, does it bring me happiness? Does it bring me joy? You know, the way I see it, and I'll use a perfect example of a video we made recently. We had done an Animal Crossing video, which is a quick guide based off of our own self-discoveries within the game on how to make bells the quickest way to pay off your very last loan, right? And you can unlock some end game items, which is your ABD and your storage shed, right? And that video wasn't a video that I had specifically planned because I wanted to make a YouTube video. It just came out of us playing the game, having fun, and we were, trying to look up videos on ways to make a quick buck or two. But all the videos that were out there either were portraying like inaccurate information, or they were pretty much outdated because Nintendo constantly be making, doing updates. So these videos were like 3-4 years old. There wasn't an updated video for the game. And out of having fun and relaxation was when the idea came. And we're like, well, why don't we just make a video? Why don't we just make the video? And it made gaming more fun because now I was playing with a goal in mind of, oh my God, what are the possibilities? What can I find out? And then share my discoveries and the results of my research in a video for those that actually love this game. And that gave me joy because I felt like I was giving back to the community because, you're watching the video, but I'm also I'm excited. I want to share my discoveries and feel that connection, that bond with my community. So if anything, that's what I base off my success on is, does this video give me joy, regardless of how it's going to perform? And if it does, then there you go. That's my reward.
I like that. That's a good answer. Mine's is actually pretty similar, but a little different.
Okay.
My answer is, when I put out a video, or if we're just talking about music or the videos in general, when I look at the video once it's completed, I ask myself, is this the best work I could have done at that moment? At the moment I created it, did I give it the best editing that I could have? Did I give it the best mix and master that I could have? Is it the best that I could have done at that moment? Because looking back at my own, because I batch my content, so by the time you guys see videos, I've probably made those videos maybe 4 or 5, 6 months before. So when I'm looking at videos in the time they're about to come out, I've learned a lot and I've grown a lot and I've developed a lot. So I don't like to hold myself to the standard of what I made 6-7 months ago. So that 6-7 months ago, I asked myself, is this the best thing I could have done at that moment? And if it is, and I'm happy with it, that's all I really need.
Nice. I guess it's time for me to choose my next question.
Yes, it is. You've already chosen, what was it? 5? So 5 is out. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6.
Let's do number 2.
Number 2. Oh, this is a good one. I like this one.
Okay.
How do you handle criticism of your content? And how do you resolve the conflict?
I mean, that's easy. It's easy now for me. So I'll just explain it in present time. I don't take it personally. That's number 1. I just don't take it personal. I see if it's based off on a constructive criticism, Because constructive criticism actually helps. They provide you good feedback. Maybe somebody heard something within the audio, or, can give you a tip or two in regards to like the pacing of the video, or I think you could have done, you could have cut this part out, cut the fluff, like I always like to call it when you're editing a video. So when it's things like that somebody actually is trying to help you make your video or your content better, then I'm all for it. I'm all for that constructive criticism. Okay. Now, when it becomes personal, when there's, let's say you read a comment and there's no base, there's no, nobody's trying to give you advice. They're not trying to help you make the video better. They're not trying to help you make the content better. They're just there pointing out an attribute they don't like about your physical appearance or your voice, or they just don't like you, then I pay no mind to it. Once again, I don't take it personally. Sometimes I laugh it out because it's you okay down there?
Yeah. What's going on over there, son?
But, I just don't pay no mind to it, because at the end of the day, I don't even know who this person is. So why let them take complete full control over my emotions, and ruin my day? Like you said earlier, did you know if you gave your best? I know I gave my best. Does that mean everybody's gonna like it? There's probably gonna be people who are not gonna like it, but I know I did my best. So I just simply delete. Back in the day, I was, hate to say it, I would be a little petty. I would reply back, But nowadays, I don't even bother with even replying back. I just delete and move on with my life.
Yeah, that's actually what I was gonna say. Is that I just delete it and move on with my life.
Yeah.
I read the comment. If I feel like it's, like you said, if it's constructive, then I'll take your advice.
Yeah.
There's been times where people have given me some advice that actually was useful. But if you're just hating just to hate, I'm just going to delete your comment and keep it moving. And if it's something that's really hateful and disrespectful, I might even report you. So if you said some ill stuff on my channel and then you got a notice from YouTube, that was me. Okay? I will report you if you say something too reckless on my channel, and I will delete your comment if it's something that I don't like, because I have the right to curate my audience and who I want to be able to comment on my videos.
Exactly.
It's my channel and I have the right to do that. So
I like that you brought that up, because I feel like sometimes people would be like, well, you got to be accepting and just allow everything. But no, at the end of the day, it's your community.
It's my community. It's my channel. I can run it however I choose to run it.
Yeah.
And how I choose to run it is, if your comment is too out of line and too wild, I'm going to block you. And I'm going to delete your comment. And if you got too crazy, then I'm going to report you. So to all the people who like to say ill stuff on my channel, you might want to stop, because I'm just going to block you, delete your comment, and report you. So
yeah, it's as simple as that. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all adults.
That's how I deal with it.
So,
I will block you, report you, delete your comment.
Just like you go into a courthouse and there's rules to follow, it's just the same thing with building our own communities. It's that simple.
Pretty much.
Alrighty, can you give me that number one?
Number one.
Is this the last one?
Yep, this is the last one.
Okay, all right, number one. I just wanted to be sure.
So yeah, we did 4. No, you did 5. Get rid of 5.
And I did 3.
And you did 3. No, you didn't do 3. You did 2.
Oh, sorry, I did 2.
Yeah, you did 2.
Okay.
And now we're going into 1.
I'm ready to do number 1.
How do you come up with ideas for your content?
Like lately, it's been, like I mentioned earlier, sometimes when I'm just relaxing, playing a game, when I'm not really thinking about it, is when the ideas come. Usually back in the day, I would force myself to come up with the idea, and that would require, doing some research, looking up content creators that create similarly to me, see what they're doing, and then, basically play the trends game. Like, what do you think is going to be popular, or what's going to be that 1 out of 10 video?
Yeah.
But, that's cool and all. You can always do that to stay up to date and find out what's going on within your niche and within your space, because you do have to be informed at the end of the day. But I feel like the videos that touch or make the most impact is the ones that come from the heart. The ones that give a glimpse of who you are as a person. So, when I'm relaxing, when I'm reading a book, when I'm doing my hobbies, when I'm playing a game, or when I'm sometimes in the car talking with you about something, all of a sudden we'll get this like random idea that will automatically say, this would make a good topic for the podcast, or this would be a good topic for a video. And I just kind of follow my heart. It sounds kind of vague, but that's really how I do my video creation nowadays. I just follow what feels right.
Gotcha. My answer to that would be, it's the music. For me, literally, I will break it down. I will have what I like to call a session, where I will sit in front of the computer and I'll just make beats. I'll make beats, make music, and just keep making it until something strikes me. And once I hear that music, it automatically tells me what it wants to be. Hey, Leon. It automatically tells me what it wants to be. So the music will be like, this is a sad song, or this is a love song, or this is a deep emotional song. And once I listen, I know people are going to think that's weird, but I listen to the music and it tells me what it wants to be. And once I create that, then everything else is just based upon that. So if it's a love song, that automatically lets me know what kind of video to do. It always lets me know what kind of style I want to go for. It lets me know what kind of video game references I want to use. Everything is built upon basically how the music made me feel. So if the music made me feel sad, then it's going to be a sad song. If the music made me feel loved, then it's going to be a love song. If the music made me feel arrogant, then it's going to be one of those cocky, I'm going to talk some ish songs.
Kind of like suck my lolly type
Yeah,
of deal.
pretty much. So whatever the music makes me feel, that's what I create, and that's how I come up with the ideas. And then my content is literally just based on the music that I created. So
yeah,
it's the music.
Music, yeah. I think that's some of the best ideas, because then you might get a good video that just takes off, you know, and gets a lot of views. Not that you're doing it for those purposes, but it just seems to, people can connect with you.
And for me, it's like you said, I don't do it for the views, so that's why I don't mind doing it the way that I do it, because it's based on my life and my experiences. I've said this on several episodes of the podcast before, but my music is my diary. So if you pay attention to my music and you follow the music in order, you can see all the transitions in my life from where I was to where I am now. And even with my latest album, you'll see a transition from where I started when I started the album, and then where I am now when I finished it are still two different places. So you'll even see that in my upcoming album. So it's how I feel, it's what I want to create, and it's pretty selfish. I don't do it. I do it for me, I
mean, I think
I do it for me.
That just is what I explained in the previous episode. We're creatives. So as creatives, we just like to create.
I have to create something, and I have to put it out there. That's just how I'm built.
This is fun.
Yeah.
It's been a fun game. So that means, once again, I don't know.
Yep. There's still 3 questions, 3, 4, and 6 that you left behind. So those will get rotated to the next game, and then we'll add 3 more questions, and then boom, boom. And the game continues and continues.
And then you said towards the end of the season,
we'll go back to all the questions that you skipped. So the last time we play this game, we'll only use the questions that you skipped.
Ooh.
Yeah, so whatever the last episode probably.
Yeah, the very last episode.
Whatever questions are left and the ones that you skipped over are going to be the ones we use, and you're not even going to get to choose.
Wow.
So that's how the game ends, is when we end on the last 3 questions that you skipped. And
I had fun.
You'll get to see what questions you've been skipping this entire time.
And if you guys want to participate, just comment below. Answer the questions yourselves, and I can't wait to read them. And just engage with the community.
Yeah. Also, feel free to ask some questions, because I might take one of your questions and slip it into the game as well. So, if you got a good content creator question you want to ask, throw it in there, and it might end up in my queue.
Okay.
So, we trying to get the community. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Hello?
He's doing it again.
Bro, I knew this was gonna happen, but here we go. Once again, if you want to keep up with all things ZapCristal, You just need to go to ZapCristal.com.
It's definitely him.
Get on that email list, and you'll get emails directly from ZapCristal herself. You'll know about when videos drop, when the podcast is coming, when the music is coming, and anything that she got going on. You can find out by just joining the email list at ZapCristal.com.
Hook them with yours because
Same thing with Master Sword Music. If you want to keep up with everything I'm doing, MasterSwordMusic.com. Also got an email list. Also get emails directly from me, and you'll find out about everything going down with the Master Sword Music family. Okay? You got it? Write that down.
Write it down.
Put it in your phone. Put it in your notes.
Yeah.
All right? I'm going to send you an email too. All right? Okay? And I'm going to text it to you.
Set a reminder.
Yeah. Okay? You got it? All right, cool beans. And with that being said, are we at the end? Is this the end?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And with that being said, I want to remind each and every one of you beautiful Watts out there in the world to reset.
You gotta sing it like Sunday church, babe.
And don't forget to zap.
To zap?
For the what?
For the what?
For the what?
What?
For the week.
For the week.
Peace out, yo.